Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so I wanted to do a quick little video because, there's been some news about the Daily Wire, and I was going to talk about this yesterday, but I just had to talk about those protests. My goodness, it was just ridiculous, and them trying to blame conservatives for that. So obviously, that's what it was. And then when I wanted to do the coffee time, I was going to talk about this as well. I had just gotten the, speculative news that Israel could be involved in the JFK um, assassination. So there was just a lot happening yesterday between talking about the protests, Israel possibly being involved, the file release, all of it, just a lot happening. But I did want to talk about the Daily Wire and Jeremy Boring no longer being the co-CEO. And I just thought to myself, oh my goodness, I'll never be hired and fired by Jeremy Boring. Like that was just a goal of mine as a Christian. I just wanted to be hired by the Daily Wire, by Jeremy Boring, and then fired by him because I love Jesus Christ. Like that was a goal. No, I'm kidding. That was just, just kidding. But I do find it fascinating because here we go again, right? I mean, last year, you guys obviously, we know Candace Owens was fired. I was a fan of the Daily Wire. I remember when Candace joined the Daily Wire. I remembered when Brett Cooper joined the Daily Wire, when Jordan Peterson joined the Daily Wire. And all this took place under Jeremy Boring's leadership, right? That they were able to get Gina Carano, I believe her name was, after she'd just been fired from The Mandalorian because she made a tweet that she had done an interview with Ben Shapiro and that they decided they were going to team up together and make a movie. That happened, that the Daily Wire was going to expand into more of the entertainment sector and not just doing podcasts, which I loved because my goodness, if you're going to give $40 million to a podcaster, that was the deal on the table for someone like Steven Crowder. And say what you want about the situation, like him, don't like him. My whole thing, my pet peeve about that is like, we're going to spend $40 million on a podcast, but I don't see y'all coming out with television shows about just normal average people. Like you could just come out with a show like, I don't know, Parenthood, Brothers and Sisters, but from the conservative side, just your family regular shows. Like that's what we want, right? Just like Netflix Sweet Magnolia. It's just a regular show. You 40 million to a podcaster, come on. However, these were some of the decisions that they were making, and Jeremy was just doing very well, right? Now I don't know if this was Jeremy's decision or if the co-CEO was doing this, but being the fact that he was the face of the Daily Wire, I think it was just a safe assumption to make that he was the head of all of these decisions. When they announced that Jordan Peterson was joining Daily Wire, there was a whole announcement. They were in a theater. Jordan Peterson comes out, gives a couple of words, says why it was so important for him to join. And I think that when you see that, you think, oh, this is a really good company, that they are the number one conservative media, well, podcast media company that's out there. This was looking really, really great. Candace was there, obviously. Brett Cooper had been signed. There was that back and forth with Steven Crowder. And for a lot of us, I think we were quick to defend the Daily Wire, especially, Candace Owens. Again, she was somebody who was defending him. Now, we all did look at the idea of the contracts. What's wrong with contracts? I mean, listen, Anita Baker had an issue with contracts and she outlived the contract. And so we do have issues with contracts. Obviously, this is a thing. So it was, aside from all the nonsense and the baby behavior coming from Crowder, it was a fair conversation you did see happen across the space, across YouTube with Tim Pool. You saw this across a bunch of different platforms, a bunch of different YouTubers. You saw that conversation. But even still, a lot of us, like myself, chose the Daily Wire. And then you get around Lent season, you get around Resurrection Sunday, the eve or the weekend eve of Resurrection Sunday, they decided to go to battle with the Christians of America. And I remember when that happened, I thought, I like the Daily Wire, but I feel like I want to step on your toe. I feel like I want to stomp your toe, Jeremy Boring. I feel like I want to stomp your toe, Ben Shapiro. Don't be coming for my Jesus. I don't like it. I'm ready to, stomp your feet out because you're coming for my Jesus. And it's like, no, Arshel, that's not my way. That's what the Lord told me, right? That's not my way. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be that person. It's like, you're right. You're right, Lord. You're right. You're absolutely right. But they're not making me happy right now. And then eventually, Candace moved on. But Christ is King trended. Andrew Clavin did a whole video talking trash about Candace Owens. But eventually we got over it, right? It was, there was a battle with the Christians all over Twitter. Daily Wire suffered. We got over that. Fine. We're over it. We're just waiting for Candace to do her thing, come out with her new podcast. We were waiting. We all, stopped subscribing to the Candace Owens podcast owned by Daily Wire, and we all subscribed right back if you weren't already subscribed to the Candace Owens channel that she already had prior to her working there. So that's what we did, right? And just, okay, it's over. The battle's over. we're past Resurrection Sunday, and she starts her channel. We're back up, right? Candace is back up. Just they can't stop her. Even with the back and forth, they couldn't stop her. Loved it, right? This is what it means to be a Christian. Just they can't stop us. Just keep moving forward. The Lord is with you. He's going to lift you up out of whatever the problems are. That's what happened with Candace. So we can just forget about this, move on. You're just mad. You're just pissed because y'all couldn't stop her. She said what she said about Israel, and you couldn't stop her. We're over it. Moving on. Then yet again, under Jeremy Boring, now you let go of Brett Cooper. And it's like, yo, and not only did you let her go, you hired her maid of honor to be the new host, as opposed to just creating a whole new show, right? You could have just done that. So we're letting go of Brett Cooper, or she quit, whichever one it was. No one could really be clear. There are some rumors that she was fired. Some say she's fired, some say she quit. We don't know really. It's just we clearly know that it wasn't a good ending. Because if it had been a good ending, Jeremy Boring and the Daily Wire people probably would not have put Reagan, her producer, in front of the camera, right? They probably just would not have done that. But they did. And this clearly was not because you like her, right? This felt very much like what I was seeing with Baldoni, right? Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively decide that we're going to get cozy with the people who worked closely with him, and then we're just going to make them our friends so they're not his friends anymore. And that's what this looked like. Okay, we're going to take your best friend. We're going to take your maid of honor at your wedding, and we're going to make her the new host of the show that you created, rather than finding a whole new personality, a whole new talent for a whole new show. You could have just done that, right? That's how that should have gone. Instead, they took her best friend and put her in front of the camera for a show that she created. And there you go. And now here we are, yet again, Lent season, getting ready to head into Resurrection in April, right? We're getting ready to head into that. That's the season that we're in. We are in the time of Christ, in the time of our Lord and Savior. And what happens, right? Candace Owens does an interview. Theo Vaughn does an interview. There was another individual on Joe Rogan. You know, people were talking about whatever it is that they were talking about. And Jeremy Boring makes this long tweet about, you know, how these are anti Semitic individuals, that this was the worst thing he had ever seen in his life. I'm like, dude, you got like gray hairs, yo. Like, how old are you? I feel like you're older than I am, and I'm 29. I'm 30 this year. So, I mean, 9/11 seemed like that was a really bad day for Christians and for Jewish people in America. I feel like that was a bad day for a lot of people. Just, you know, I mean, I don't think Candace Owens being on a podcast interview is the worst thing that's ever happened to you. I mean, how old are you, dude? Come on. I've been in car accidents. I was alive when 9/11 happened. There was a war that lasted for 20 years. I mean, Joe Biden presidency. I mean, a lot of bad things happen. A lot of bad things have happened. And that was the worst thing that has ever happened. Ilhan Omar says what she says about 9/11, and that wasn't a bad day for Jews and Christians. Like, why is it just about Israel? Why is it just about the Jewish people? Why is it not just about Americans? Like, you don't have to just sit here and defend Jewish people. You could defend all Americans. Like, why is that? And then why are you specifically targeting people who don't agree with you? Like, it seems like you're very much about censorship for someone who loves to talk about freedom of speech. Doesn't seem like that's what you're about. And this whole, you know, we are a publisher, not a platform. Yeah, that is just, yeah, we're not buying it, yo. We're just not buying it, okay? Because if you truly believed in free speech, then you wouldn't have fired Candace. Why is Brett Cooper gone? And now you have another battle with Candace Owens and the Christians. They like you just why is it that every time it's looking like this is a tradition for the Daily Wire, at least a tradition with Jeremy Boring, that every time we get into this time of the year, you want to start a battle with Christians. Why is that? I just want to make it clear, America is a Christian country. This is not Judeo-Christian values. This is not because I'm hating on Jews, okay? Any more than I'm hating on Muslims. I'm not hating on any other religion. Satanist maybe. Not even maybe, but definitely. When it comes to Jewish, when it comes to Muslim, I'm not hating on you guys, okay? I'm not hating on you at all. What I am saying, however, is this is a Christian country. When you look at our history, we used to deny Jewish people the right to vote. We used to deny Jewish people opportunities the way that we offered to Christians. Like that just happened. George Washington, one of his most famous quotes, the difference, I'm saying in quotes, the difference between the Christian American and everyone else, okay, is that we will die on our feet rather than live on our knees. He said, difference between the Christian American and everyone else. Okay, he didn't say the Christian and Jewish American. He said the Christian American. Okay, so when we talk about our Creator, we're talking about Christ. When we talk about what our country is about, we're Christian values. This is why when you swear into office, you put your hand on the Bible. Okay, This is why I don't care what your religion is. When you are going up for jury duty and you have to sit there and you swear to tell the truth, you do it on the Bible. Stop making these accommodations. That's a side note. But it seems to me that Jeremy Boring, no longer being a CEO or co CEO of the Daily Wire, it's like, yeah, a lot of things has happened. A lot of things have happened. You say you were for free speech and then you fired Candace Owens. It looked like you were making some pretty bad decisions as it related to your talent, like Brett Cooper. And then in a decision of spite and being upset, you decided to go to her best friend, who was her maid of honor, and then put her on her show rather than looking for whole new talent. That's what you decided to do. Pendragon was supposed to come out last year. It hasn't. What's going on with the Snow White movie that Brett Cooper was supposed to be in? Like, you came up with a teaser and everything, but now he's going to go and be an advisor for the Daily Wire. That he's going to focus on the Pendragon series. What's happening with the Snow White that was supposed to rival Disney's Snow White movie? It seems like to me that not only has Disney have to push their movies, but so did you. Like, yo, you got problems, and I'm just sad about Jeremy Boring no longer being co-CEO because it means I will never be hired by him and fired by him for being Christian. And that makes me sad, you guys. That was a dream of mine, to be hired by Jeremy Boring just to be fired for saying Christ is king. Joking, of course. So, anyhow, I'm just like, I don't know what that means for the Daily Wire moving forward. I'm not quite happy with Jordan Peterson either, not since he's done that ridiculous study trying to stir up trouble among the Christian people in America. Like, the study he did is sowing division, and they're trying to make it seem like that if you are an America First Christian, like if that's the type of Christian you are, which I am, that somehow that makes you a bad Christian. That if you're looking at Bibi Netanyahu like a problem, which I believe he is, then you're a bad Christian. That if you're not a Christian who is a Zionist Christian, then that makes you problematic. And I said in what I said yesterday, I'm saying it again today, beyond Jerusalem becoming the capital of the Middle East, I am just here to bear witness now. Okay, we know what the book says. His truth is marching on, and I would like to see that to be the case with the United States. We'll see how this goes with the Daily Wire. We shall see, because I'm curious to see how this goes. Brett Cooper tweets and said, I'm excited to see what this new CEO and Ben do about this. I think she's still friends with Ben Shapiro. They're saying that Jeremy Boring and Ben Shapiro are kind of on the rocks, and Ben was really like his only friend. So Daily Wire is, like the Democrats, in a bit of a scramble. Does getting rid of Jeremy Boring mean that they'll have opportunities with Fox News, or by being purchased by another company, or at least having a partnership and mergers with other companies? I don't know. We shall see. I'm not ready to subscribe to them yet because the only real people that I was watching, Candace and Brett, they're gone. I was watching again with Jordan Peterson, but he's making me upset. Apparently, I'm not the good Christian. I'm not the good Christian that he says I should be, right? I can't question Bibi Netanyahu. I can't question Israel. I can't question whether or not someone whose loyalty is quite clear to be with another nation, I can't question their loyalties. I can't question that. That makes me bad, apparently. According to Jordan Peterson's study, that if we say Christ is king, it's because we are deliberately using it to be offensive to the Jewish community. And it's like, yeah, no, this is about me being offensive. This is about me spreading the good news. I'm saying Christ is king. This is a Christian country. It is what it is. Be offended. Don't be offended. I could care less. I love Jesus. I love the Lord. I love God. I'm just like, we're in Lent season, people, and we're going to be heading into the resurrection in just the following month. So you let me know what you think about this, because I'm quite intrigued to see what happens with the Daily Wire after this. Very intrigued. We shall see. If first of all, if the Pendragon series is actually going to come out on time, and if they're going to release this new Snow White movie, like, yo, Brett Cooper is in a whole new movie, yo. Like, there's a whole trailer for a whole new movie coming out. Where is the Snow White movie? Because Disney's ones is out, okay? And we know that was going to be atrocious. Where's yours? You're late, yo. You're late. So let me know about what you guys think about this. Intrigued. Love that Jeremy is out as far as being the CEO, because he was the face of everything. He's not. So we shall see. We shall see. You let me know what you think is going to be the future of the Daily Wire, and what is Jeremy Boring's new position. If you watched Candace Owens' episode, do you understand that question? I will see you guys a little later. Love you. I'm going to go heat my coffee. Love you. God bless, and Kepla.